Welcome back to Theresa.is.Dead. My name is Theresa and I'm very much alive. And if you're new here, welcome. I have an awful garbage mouth where I tend to use the word fuck as a fucking comma. If you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is not the place for you. Feel free to exit the video here. No harm, no foul. But I remember our time fondly. Guys, today is a collab video. Yay! And I get to collaborate with the wonderful, beautiful, as well as a fellow New Yorker, Cate the Great Beauty. And I'm so excited. And I hope that if all goes well and she's not terrified of me, maybe we can meet in the subway and dodge some really, really sketchy people. That would be a lot of fun. But in all seriousness, I love Cate's channel. What I really like about her is that she's very interesting and I can actually hang on her every word. And I can watch every one of her fucking videos. Her voice is such a calming, soothing force that is definitely needed in my office before I start stabbing people. That's why I love Cate so much. So I'm very, very excited to be doing this collaboration with her. And I hope we have more future collaborations because she seems like an awesome lady. And I would love to stalk her sometime. In any case, today's video, we're gonna be talking about our monthly favorites. And as you guys know, I don't ever really do these types of videos because I don't know, I just never thought to do them. Usually in my videos, I always tell you about what's going on in my life and usually I pair it with some subpar makeup review. And so it's kind of nice to be like branching out a little bit and doing things that are a little bit out of my comfort zone. I kind of like this. With that said, if you are interested in seeing these videos once a month, let me know. Maybe we can make this a thing. If you don't like them, blame Cate. This was her idea. Just kidding. But seriously, it was her idea. I'm a bitch. Anyway, no, I'm really, really excited to talk about my favorites because I think I might surprise y'all with some of the stuff that I've been loving lately. Oh, actually, before I jump into my little review and stuff like that, I had a very weird interaction today and I wasn't even thinking about it too much, but it was actually really funny. I got a wrong number today, but you ever get one of those phone calls where somebody calls you, you hear them talking, like they're talking to somebody else and they don't realize that you picked up the phone? So it was like this man on the other line and I guess he must have been talking to some buddies or some shit like that because what he said had to be one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, bro, what can I say? I always stare into her asshole like that.
I don't know what is about me that I like to find people that like to talk about their assholes a lot, but in any case, it started for a real fun conversation. So I was like, hi. The guy was like,
oh, I'm sorry. Can I talk to Tom?
You got the wrong number. And before he could say anything, I said, you know, my asshole has the same effect on people. And I just hung up the phone. He has not called me back, so he probably thinks I'm a weirdo. Anyway, that was my fun for today because today was awful, but that's another story for another day. But anyway, let's talk about my monthly favorites. So this is actually gonna be kind of surprising, but this is not all just makeup products, it's actually other things as well. I know, who the fuck am I? Anyway, I wanna talk about Liquid Death. This has to be the most weirdest fucking thing, but at the same time, I'm completely fucking obsessed with it. I mean, seriously, can we get any more goth than this? This is like fucking insane. This is water. This is water in a can. I'll repeat that because I feel like it bears repeating. This is water in a can. So this water is actually drinking water from the Austrian Alps. I'll be honest, at first I wasn't too keen on this because it's water out of a fucking can. But after the second can, this is like crack. I'm fucking addicted. It's disgusting. Oh my God. This is what I imagined the Alps in hell would taste like. Delicious. It's nice that I'm actually sampling the stuff now before I ultimately die there. There's something so oddly refreshing about this water. I can't really put my finger on it. I'm actually thankful that Alex found this water because in one of my live streams, I made a joke that I can tell the difference from water because that's pretty much the only thing I drink other than alcohol and coffee. I just drink water. I don't drink soda or anything like that. I love water. I can tell the difference from water. So he wanted to test me and I think I got all of them right with the exception of one.
Because I know my shit, bitch.
Anyway, this is one of the waters that we had during that live stream. And if you haven't seen the live stream, I will link it in the corner. What is cool about this brand, other than making this can so fucking metal it hurts, it's basically an environmentally conscious answer to bottled water. Since plastic isn't always recyclable and sometimes actually ends up in the ocean. I really do like this company. It's a nice splurge every once in a while. And I feel like I actually had to put this in here because if I didn't have some sort of beverage while doing a collab with Cate, is this really a collab after all? I don't think so. I know I should have alcohol, but I'm all out. I know. I'm waiting for my delivery service to come because I'm a lazy piece of shit and I refuse to leave my house. And that's true tea right there. So the next thing, I actually don't have it in my hand, so I'm gonna put a picture of it and just leave it up here because I'm too lazy to get up and go to my bathroom and take it out of my shower. Brioche, I think that's how you say it, Brioche. I wanna call it Neo Geo so goddamn badly, but I think it's Brioche. Fuck. Brioche? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, this thing, yeah, this. Normally, you guys know me, I don't talk about hair care products because I don't give a fuck about them. I just don't care. Makeup, yes, I could talk about that. Fashion, no. And when it comes to hair care, even fucking less. My hair is always very flat. I don't really do anything with it. I can't even fucking curl it properly, all right? I am clinically stupid when it comes to hair care stuff. Now, when I went to Ipsy 2 months ago, I purchased this set. I don't know why I purchased it. It looked cute. I could actually smell it and it smelled really good. And the sales associates were actually really, really nice and very, very helpful. Anyway, so I finally got around to actually using the products. And I actually started with the trial size first because if I didn't like the big one, at least I can gift it off to a friend. Can I tell you, as soon as I used the product, I noticed a huge fucking difference right off the bat. The normal shampoo I've been using leads to some buildup sometimes. And sometimes I feel like my hair isn't as clean as it should be. Does that make sense? First and foremost, the stuff smells absolutely wonderful. I love the packaging. It reminds me of some overpriced hipster juice bullshit. But overall, my hair just feels really, really clean. Even after 2 or sometimes 3 days, don't judge me. I take a shower. Sometimes I just don't wash my hair. Come for me, bitch, please. But it feels and it looks super great. There's like a nice shine to it as if I poured my head in a bucket of semen. It's so nice and shiny. I fucking love it. However, I can see this actually becoming an expensive problem. So fuck me. So the next thing I want to talk about is skincare. And I want to talk about Good Molecule's Super Peptide Serum. Funny story, I actually received this in the Beautylish Lucky Box the end of last year, early this year. And I wasn't too keen on it. I remember making some sort of speech like,
I don't know what this is. My skin only likes cha-cha.
anyway, I stopped being a little bitch about it and I actually tried the product. And oddly enough, I actually almost fucking finished it. There's like maybe a little bit of a drop left in this bottle. Did it take away my wrinkles? No. Nothing will unless I start drinking blood from virgins. But I digress. What I do notice, in the areas that I actually put the serum, I notice like around my forehead, as well as the smile lines that I get on the sides of my mouth, is actually much softer and smoother. Now, I was very fortunate enough for Good Molecules to reach out to me and ask me if I wanted to try some of their products. And lo and behold, they actually sent me a bottle of the Super Peptide Serum, which I'm so fucking excited about. So thank you, Good Molecules, for gifting me, not this one because this is my original bottle, but the next bottle that is currently in my bathroom. I'm also in the process of trying their other stuff out. They've given me a couple of different things that I've been slowly trying out because I've also been trying some of the Ordinary's products as well. I know you guys have been asking me every now and again for like a skincare video. I think I'll actually be able to do that within either this month or next month because there's a couple more things that I want to try before I can actually form an opinion about the other items. What I like about this product is that it melts into my skin. It doesn't sit on my skin, it actually melts into my skin. A little bit does go a long way. And it's funny because I find that a lot of serums that I have been trying as of late, they sometimes have like a greasy feel to it, but with this one I don't experience any sort of greasiness with it. It actually leaves my skin feeling very radiant and well nourished and overall smoother. And honestly, for the price point, it ain't bad either. I think it's supposed to kind of be comparable to the Ordinary, with the exception that the packaging is way fucking cuter. Anyway, this is one of my favorites from last month.
Yo!
What the fuck? The next product I want to talk about is Milani, which is the Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. Holy fucking shit. I picked up this foundation when I was in Jersey. I was basically bored in a Target and was like, I want to spend some money, so what should I buy? Holy shit. To me, it's very similar to the YSL All Hours foundation, with the exception that it slightly oxidizes. Not the end of the world, but I do come out a touch darker. Now in Target, there was, I believe, I want to say like maybe 15 or 20 shades. Initially, that's what I thought was in the line. And I was like, wow, that's really fucking pitiful. But I went online, I noticed that there are 45 different shades in this line, which is really, really great. So I actually am looking forward to picking up a shade that's a little bit closer to my complexion. I have to say, I think out of using it for the past like 2 months now, this is probably my favorite drugstore foundation. Between this and YSL, I just switch back and forth. Like, this is awesome. I don't experience anything weird with this foundation other than the slight oxidation. It doesn't settle into my fine lines. It lasts for a very long time. It doesn't break apart. It doesn't give me any weird texture. I do find that a little bit does go a long way. And I would call this more of like a natural skin finish. It's not quite matte, it's not radiant, it's just a natural skin finish. And I would say that this is definitely like a medium to full coverage formula. This is fucking great. Like, I have been absolutely obsessed with it. So I'm actually really excited to be talking about it now. And I was kind of contemplating on doing a video about it, but I figured this has been out for so long, I don't think anybody cared. So I'm actually very, very happy to be talking about it now. So if you have been curious, I do recommend this foundation. It's really, really wonderful. Ugh, I love it. So the next thing I actually want to talk about is this foundation brush. You guys know I'm not a foundation brush boy. I'm more of a sponge boy. I do have brushes in my collection, but I kind of steer clear from them. However, since I've been testing out a lot of referred brushes over the past 2 months or so, I was fortunate enough to be gifted this brush, the number 17. Now this brush retails for a whopping $45. I know, expensive. Oddly enough, this was one of the last brushes I tried, and I actually have to thank Tara Lynn because she was the one to nudge me about it. She was like,
Bitch, what are you doing? Why aren't you fucking this brush up?
okay, maybe she didn't say that and I'm kind of paraphrasing, but whatever. Anyway, what is great about this brush as opposed to the other brushes that are in my collection is that this brush actually doesn't eat the product at all. 2 pumps and that's really all you need. And it's impressive because it's so small. And now I actually appreciate the size because as you guys know, I do my eyebrows and my eye makeup first. Even when using a sponge, sometimes I can hit an area where I completely fuck something up. This brush is so small and precise that it actually kind of like hugs the curves of certain areas, so I'm not messing anything up. This brush doesn't leave any sort of streaks, it doesn't cake the products on my face, and it really gives me that appearance of a second skin. And actually it's kind of funny, I feel like I don't really need to go over this with a sponge. It actually looks very, very pretty on its own, which is usually for me not the case with a lot of brushes. This is fucking beautiful. It's the number 17. It's super awesome. If you're interested in looking at this brush, I will leave a link down below. And I know currently they are still doing holiday sales. If you didn't want to do like the bigger program where you have custom made brushes, you can buy 1 brush and get 1 free, which is actually a really, really good fucking deal. So you can get 2 brushes for $45, but this is super fantastic. Love this. So next product is the Hourglass palette, and this is the Lighting Edit Ghost Unlock palette, which is pretty much the palette that came out last year, except it's in the Glad Tupperware container, as you can see right here. I'm actually gonna leave this down because I don't wanna keep blinding you with it, so sorry. I know I mentioned in a previous video that my worst fear is after lusting for that palette for so fucking long that once I get it, I'm going to realize that it actually wasn't even worth it, and ultimately being a regrettable fuckboy. But girl, my makeup dick is so fucking hard right now. I actually regret getting the Ghost palette, the palette that came out this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I really do like that palette a lot. But if I had this palette before, I would totally not recommend that other palette, honestly. To be completely 100,000% honest. There is something about the original palette that is so unbelievably magical. I can't put my finger on it. I really don't know what it is. But initially I thought this was going to be too dark for me. It's absolutely perfect for me. I love both finishing powders in this palette. It gives me that catfish look that I really love. It doesn't make my face look like a dusty mummy cookie. It's perfect. The bronzer, which I initially thought I was going to fucking hate, actually is really nice on my skin. It does pull a little bit warm, but I actually don't mind it because it looks pretty good on uncooked chicken. Both blushes are great whether they're combined or on their own, and the highlighter is fucking wonderful. It's not super blinding, but it's not really soft. It's more like from that glow within kind of highlight. It definitely reminds me of like a Dior highlighter in that way. This is $80. And in my opinion, for me, it was well worth the money. And considering that the mini sizes are about $24 a piece, it actually is worth its value. With that said, I fucking hate the packaging. That is literally the worst thing about it. If you actually have been waffling back and forth between this palette and the new palette, I say get the original. Don't even bother with the new one. Yep, don't even bother with the new one. The original one is where it's at. Again, don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy the new palette that came out this year, but it does not hold a candle to this palette. Last but not least, I want to talk about Midas Cosmetics. I personally love Midas Cosmetics. I have been receiving some of their newer collections in PR, and they've always been wonderfully consistent. When I was thinking of this video, I knew I wanted to mention something from Midas Cosmetics because they actually have been pumping out quite a few things. And I think I actually narrowed it down to 2 different products. The first one I want to talk about are the coffee quads. In particular, I want to talk about Green Tea Macchiato and the Decaf Chocolate Raspberry Eyeshadow Palette. They're both wonderfully pigmented. This is the Green Tea Macchiato. shadow, and this is the Decaf Chocolate Raspberry palette. I don't experience any sort of eye irritation when using these products. There is some slight staining, especially with the Chocolate Raspberry palette, only because these colors are like a deep red color. Of course, there's some kick up and some light fallout, but it's always been very incredibly easy to clean. When Alex and I went to Philly this past October, I actually took these two palettes along with the Pumpkin Spice Quad. There is another quad in this collection, and it's pressed glitters, and personally, I just can't fuck with pressed glitters. I can't. It's funny because I really was expecting that I was going to like the pumpkin spice one the best, but honestly, these were the two that I was grabbing for the most. What I really loved about it was actually combining both of these palettes for a lot of different looks. For being small palettes, they're actually quite versatile. With that said, the pumpkin one is also a really amazing quality, but for me, these are the two standouts. And personally, I just think that they're really just wonderful for the season, and you can actually make so many different holiday looks with them. They're really, really cute. And the price point is super awesome with these. They're about $12 a piece. And of course, there's coupon codes out there. I have one, which if you want to use the code GARBAGE, you can save 20% off. But if you don't want to use my code because you don't like me, which is completely fine, you can use a bunch of other people's codes. Now, honestly, my favorite fucking thing are these goddamn lip glosses. These glosses come in 3 shades, but I'm only gonna talk about number 1 and number 5. Glosses do not have that like swollen Botox feel. They're not overly sticky. They actually have a pretty well lasting power considering that they are gloss. And I feel like it has like a beautiful wear down where it might not be super shiny, but your lips still look nice and healthy. I don't find this gloss to be messy at all. It doesn't bleed to the outer corner of my mouth like some other glosses do. These look really great over a liquid lipstick. My favorite thing as of late is actually just using a little bit of a lip liner and then putting this right on top. And it's just so fucking pretty because these glosses are so opaque. While they do wear down, you really do not lose the opacity of them, which is fucking fantastic. The other thing that I like about them is that they're perfect nudes for me. So if I feel like a lipstick is a little bit too dark, when I add this, it actually lightens everything up. These colors are like the perfect nude colors, and I really honestly can't fucking tell the difference. So to me, like I just use them interchangeably and I feel like I have the same experience. So, and I'm okay with that. I want more colors in this formula because it's super fucking cool. So if you're looking to try a really good lip gloss, I highly recommend it. They retail for about $9 a piece. And with that said, that is my monthly favorites for the month of November. Let me know down below if you have any of my favorites, or if you don't have them, or if you fucking hate them. Let me know because I love hearing from you guys. And please make sure to go check out Cate's video. I will link her stuff down below. She is really fucking cool. And if you haven't seen her before, you're welcome. You're gonna fucking love her. She's awesome. With that said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button. It's fucking free. And hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Patreon, Discord. On Thursdays, we have a podcast called The Miserable 3. And sometime I'm on my husband's Twitch channel where I just yell about shit on the internet. Everything that is on my face, along with all the products that I mentioned in this video, as well as the links to everything that I just mentioned, will be listed in the description box below. And I'll see you little pumpkins later. Bye.